What is up, YouTube? We are back with another deck profile, and this week we have a returning good deck, and that is Mew vmax. Let's get right into the deck profile. We're going to start off the deck list with 4 copies of Genesect V. It has the ability Fusion Strike system. Once during your turn, you may draw cards in your hand to the same amount of number of Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. So if you have 6 Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, you can draw up to 6 per turn. And there's 4 of them. So if you have 4 of these on the bench, you can draw up to 6 4 times. It also has the attack Technoblast for 210. During your next turn, this Pokemon can attack. The energy cost isn't important because we usually don't attack with Genesect V. We use Mew vmax to copy it. Speaking of Mew vmax, we play 3 copies of Mew vmax. Some people play 2. I'm not a huge fan of that. I like the 3 copies. Mew vmax is a disgustingly good Pokemon. It has free retreat. It has the attack Cross Fusion Strike. Choose one of your bench Fusion Strike Pokemon's attacks and use it as its attack for 2 colorless. Very good. That's why we can use Technoblast for basically 1 attachment. We also have another good attack, Max Miracle for 130. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So we can get through Miltanks. We can get through anything with that effect, basically. Play 3 copies. Very good card. I would have never played 4, that's too much, and again, like I said, playing 2 is just too little. We are then playing 3 copies of Mew V because we need to evolve Mew vmax from something. It has free retreat, it has the attack Psychic Leap. You may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached into your deck. Very good. Since we have power tablets, we can do more than 70, and sometimes we can just boss's orders up a Sobble, then Psychic Leap back into the deck, healing our Mew vmax or Mew V. Some people do play 4. I used to play 4, but now I'm a huge fan of 3 as you don't really need the 4 copies, as once 2 of these go down after you evolve into a Mew vmax, the game's over. And this one's just in case you prize it or you need an extra one because you accidentally discarded one early in the game. We are also playing 2 copies of Meloetta from Fusion Strike with the Meloetta's Echo attack. This attack does 70 damage for each Fusion Strike energy attached to all your Pokemon. With 3 energy on the field, that is 210 damage. With 4, that is 280. 280 is just enough to knock out Arceus V-Star, Palkia V-Star, and Dialga V-Star, as long as they don't have a big charm on it. But if they do, we have stuff like Choice Belt and Power Tablet to do more damage. Very good card early in the game, especially if you go second. You can knock out your opposing... Especially if you go second, you can knock out your opponent's opposing V turn 1, and that basically sometimes wins you the games in certain matchups. For stadiums, we are playing 4 copies of Tower of Darkness. Basically, I wanted 4 stadiums just because of the Path Roxanne combo is very... It hurts our deck a lot. That's what I'm going to say. And in decks that don't play that, we kind of don't want to just clump our hand with stadiums. So I picked Tower of Darkness as I can discard Tower of Darkness with Tower of Darkness to draw an extra 2 cards. Very good card. We don't play any other single strike Pokemon or any Pokemon cards in general that have a single strike effects. So the only thing we can discard with Tower of Darkness is the Tower of Darkness. For supporters, we were playing 4 copies of Alessa's Sparkle. I was on 3, but I realized going second on your first turn, you really want to hit this. So to maximize the odds, I am choosing to play a 4th copy. Sometimes it does clump up the hands later on, but as long as you manage your resources, aka Ultra Balls and Quick Balls correctly, you won't have to worry in the later stages of the game. The next supporter we are choosing to play is 3 copies of Boss's Orders. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. Very good, especially since we can just attach double turbo, boss up a bench V, and just knock it out. We can do that 3 times, and we've won the game. Very good card. I don't think I would ever go down to 2. And 4 is just way too much. For items, we are playing 4 copies of Ultra Ball. Really good card. It helps us search out any Pokemon, especially Mew vmax. It also allows us to thin our hands so we can draw more cards with Fusion Strike system on Genesect V. We are also playing 4 copies of Power Tablet. When you play this card, your Fusion Strike Pokemon do 30 more damage for that turn. Basically, we're just doing more damage, which is very good, especially against V-Stars and opposing V-Maxes. Following that, we are playing 4 copies of Cramomatic. You can only play this card if you discard another item card from your hand. Flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for any card. Very good card, especially with with Battle VIP Pass late game or other cards that you just don't need late game. Discarding it so you can draw more with Fusion Strike System, as well as searching any one card, is amazing. If I could play more of these, I 100% would. Following up Cramomatic, we play 4 copies of Battle VIP Pass. You can only play this card on your first turn. If you do, search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Very good card, since this allows us to get Genesect Vs early on so we can draw more with Fusion Strike System, as well as getting Mew Vs and Meloetas onto our bench as soon as possible. And in later stages of the game, this is just discard fodder with Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, or Cramomatics. Next up, we are playing 4 copies of Quick Ball. Discard a card and search your deck for a basic Pokemon. Very good. Helps us thin down the hand, helps us search for more Pokemon. Very good card, and we are playing the 4 copies. Next up, we are playing 3 copies of Rotom. The effect on this is look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose one of them, shuffle the other cards back into your deck, and then put that card on top. Very good card. We are playing 3. I would like 4, but there's no other room in the deck for 4. If I need to cut any cards to include new cards, Rotom is the first one to go. It is a very good card, but I think everything else in the list is just a little bit better. Next up, you're playing 2 copies of Choice Belt. When you attach this to a Pokemon, its attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active V. That includes VMAX, V-Star, and V-Union. It stays on the Pokemon for the entirety of the game unless it gets discarded with an effect. We have 2. You don't really need 3. 3 is too much, as well as it might just clog your hand later on in the game. We also play 2 copies of Escape Rope. The effect on this is each player switches their active Pokemon, one of their bench Pokemon. Your opponent switches first. This is a very good card against bad players because they'll always promote something that they don't really want knocked out because they don't think you can take the knockout, and then you just knock it out and put them in a bad spot. As well as opposing list, if they just go, let's say it's an Arceus variant and they go Sobble, Arceus, Pass, you can play the Escape Rope, and it's basically a boss's orders in that scenario, bringing up the Arceus and then you knock it out, and that basically allows the Arceus player to basically lose. Like, it's really, really hard for them to come back from that. We are playing 2 copies. I originally played 1, but I realized 2 is definitely better, as you really want to see this in the scenario that it's useful, and then later on in the game, it's just basically a switch effect or fodder with Cramomatic. We are then playing 2 copies of Switch. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench basic card. Sometimes we don't always want to switch our opponent's active, so we do play Switch, as we do need to reset our Mew vmax when it uses Technoblast, so we can retreat and then play a Switch, and then that resets it. Very good card. I don't think you need more than these, because if you attack more than 3 times in a game, you're probably not in a good scenario, as you want to finish games very quick with Mew vmax. The last item card we are playing is 1 copy of Echoing Horn. Put a basic Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench. Very good, especially against these V-Star lists, as we can play this, put a V onto their bench, boss's orders, and take a knockout. Very good late game, as they're probably going to have 1-2 basic Pokemon V in their discard. Starting off our energies, we are playing 4 copies of Fusion Strike Energy. This is accelerated with Alessa Sparkle. We want to put these on Mew, Meloetas to just start swinging early on in the game very fast. The effect on this is pretty good, as when this is attached to a Fusion Strike Pokemon, our opponent's abilities can affect it. That means stuff like Galarian Weezing can affect it. If our opponent has a Quick Shooting Inteleon or a Galarian Zigzagoon, and they try to put damage counters on a Pokemon with a Fusion Strike Energy attached, it will be for no effect, basically. And the last card we play is 3 copies of Double Turbo Energy. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 colorless energy. The attacks do 20 less damage. So for Cross Fusion Strike on Mew vmax, it is 2 colorless, so we can attach this. We are going to do 20 less, but with stuff like Choice Belt and Power Tablet, we can negate the 20 less damage. And that would be the deck list. What do you guys think of it? What would you guys change? Let me know if you're going to play this in a weekly locals, or just hanging out with your friends playing a few games. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe for more daily videos, as well as don't forget to use promo code YBMcards for 5% off at checkout at deckoutgaming.com for all your sealed and single needs.